Dr. Ologududu. So I need to say this properly, right? Dr. Ologududu. Have I said it right?
You're correct.
Thank you so much. Right. So I was
You know,
just saying before.
you deal with,
Actually, you have another name. Please share with everybody. You have another name.
okay. No, I'm comfortable with my first name, which is,
Akinbode.
when I was in the state, they
Yeah.
they don't know how to pronounce my last name.
Okay.
So I just tell them I'm Akinbod. That's how they pronounce it over there. Akin,
Oh,
yeah,
Akinbode. So you
Akinbod.
don't say Akinbode. You say just
They, they,
Akinbode.
they don't know how to pronounce Akinbod over there.
Okay.
So they just say
Right.
Akin. And when they
Okay.
say Akinbod, I'm fine with that. No concern whatsoever. I'm all right.
Okay. Lovely. Lovely. Right. In that case, when you say over there, what do you mean by over there?
I mean, in the United States.
Oh my goodness. Right. Now you're telling me. Right. Could you please tell everybody which state are you from in Nigeria? We need to mention that.
Thank you. I'm from Ondo State in Nigeria. Alcohol extraction to be specific, and I'm proud,
Wait. Oh, homeland. Okay. Brilliant.
proud
Sorry.
of my proud. I'm proud of my Black heritage.
Yay. We need another applause. Wait, wait, wait. I'm doing a lot of claps, just thought I'd let you know. Well, thank you so much, Akinbod. So we'll just start. So basically, you have given a bit of an introduction as where your home country is from. If you could kindly share a bit about your background about research supervision. We're both life scientists, and your about proposals. If you could share a bit of light on your background on that.
Hi everyone. Great to be here today. My name is Akimbode, as the host rightly mentioned. Um, my background is in plant physiology and biochemistry, and my career span over 10 years across colleges and universities, doing specifically research and then community service. And in the last 10 years, I've helped students to fashion out their their idea, their concepts, turning those ideas into realities, which is the proposal itself. So, both at undergraduate and at postgraduate levels, I've
Okay.
along that line. I'm a research coach, and I develop proposals that are friendly, in which I've been able to win grants across various divides. Uh, Within the last 24 months, I won an NIH research proposal grant at in United States of America, specifically at Montgomery University, and I've been able to mm, publish my outputs in high impact journals. So into I came back into United Kingdom to join my family, and then continue my foray in what I love to do. So
Brilliant, brilliant. So then, coming to the UK. So, what inspired you to help students, to improve their research proposals?
thank you for that. What inspires me is because I've seen all kinds. I've seen the brilliant ones. I've seen those that are just finding their direction. Those that are just try to find their feet. But what inspires me is seeing students have that moment of clarity. When they decide they want to take it further, beyond their comfort zone, outside their comfort zone, right? They want to take it further. So when the ideas click, I feel very passionate about it, and I wish to help such a student, to develop that idea. The idea
Right.
is a big question that we're trying to look at, but most importantly, they have the big question is always there, but the question is not is not is not when. The question is they have that idea, but translate that into that bigger picture where you'll be able to answer a particular question, a gap with a gap that exists, and you want to address that. That's always been a challenge. And here
Mm,
I'm ready to help.
brilliant, brilliant. So for those of people who are just dropped in right now, what is a research proposal and why is it important for PhD or MRes or MPhil applications? What is a
Thank
research
you.
proposal?
Um, every field of human endeavor has a particular blueprint in which you need to develop into a concept. So your research proposal is that blueprint. That's blueprint. And is important because it tells much about what you wanted. What it tells it gives you an indication of what you wanted to do with that idea that you have nurtured over time that you have. So is that blueprint not a perfect blueprint, but is that blueprint that you needed to have to develop? And it answers the question what, why, and how. Now, for master students, and for master students, and then for PhD students, the idea has to be clear. The idea has to be clear. There must be a clarity in the idea. Now, not just that, it must be original, not a trivial expression, uh, not a trivial expression, and not an extension of something that has already been established. You must have a clear path, a clear framework of what you want to address. When you have that in place, then it's going to be a simple task for you to achieve.
My goodness, that's very, very important. So basically, my friends, it's a scaffold. It may not be the final deal, but that's how Akinbode, that's how he actually guides you through the process from a concept to writing it down. And like you said, the gap and how do you channel that into a structure or a scaffold is the main thing. So you've dealt with many students. So what what do they struggle with to begin with, and what's the first step to writing it?
The first step in writing a proposal is when you have an idea, the idea is just a concept. At the back of your mind, you must know what you wanted to address. That's specifics that you wanted to address. Most times, students they have a bigger picture instead of an idea. They have a bigger picture. They tend to model a lot of things into one. And in this part of the world, we are not interested in that bigger
Bigger
problem.
picture, right?
That
right.
what is important is just that little gap that you've been able to identify, that specifics, and then tailor your proposal towards that, and let us know how you want to achieve that. So from the little idea that you have, you must do what we call break them down into manageable tasks. And how do you do that? You start from your topic. Your topic must be clear. There must be a clarity in your topic. From the topic, your topic should bring out a curiosity and a scientific thinking, right? It must instigate a question. It must instigate a question. We must, from this topic, we should be able to identify that, oh, this is what it's trying to address, not just coming up with putting up jargons together, just you're not trying to bamboozle anyone. You're not trying to massage your emotions. No, come up with that simple topic. And then from that, break the topic down into manageable tasks. You have the introduction, literature. For PhD, you need to do more. We talked about Prisma. That has to do with systematic analysis of literature. You need to do more in terms of literature. You have you go through various database. Google Scholar is just one of them. We've got a lot of database for you to research, and then you now come up with that research gap that you want to like. That's for PhD. But for masters, it's more like a single problem, and then you want to solve that single problem, not just having so many research questions. At the end of the day, you find yourself out of balance. So for PhDs, it's more comprehensive than for masters, because for masters, there's always a timeline. And for PhD, there's always a time frame for you to achieve that. So from the literature, you go to your research question. Your research question is the bigger question. The aims and the objective is how you want to achieve those questions. How? The research question is that bigger concept, that bigger question that you have, but the aims and objectives, how you want to achieve that. So from that, you methodology talks about if it's if it's quantitative data, or if it's quantitative, there must be not just straight jacket. There must be difference between what kind of data you're looking at. Is it quantitative? Is it qualitative? For quantitative, that is most times for MRes program. The mix open where you have to do a lot of data analysis, making use of so many softwares, and for you to achieve your result. But for qualitative, that is where you make use of structural interviews, right? Structural interviews, you carry out questionnaire, right? And you cannot compare the amount of data in qualitative to quantitative. So for people in management sciences, they do more of qualitative. But for us in life science, it's quantitative research. That's what we do. So then that takes you to most times, most students, they tend to forget a timeline. If you want to carry out a research, from the first day, you must have it at the back of your mind that there's a time frame for you to finish up this project.
Yeah.
In most, Western world, for masters, maybe maximum of 24 months, or maybe 18
12
months
or 24. Yeah.
And for PhD, be 36 months beyond that, right? So there must be a timeline, and each of these timeline we have specific tasks that you need to achieve. And now, once you tick those boxes, then you should be ready to go.
Right. Brilliant. Right. Do you know what? You've answered all the questions up to now from that response. So is one of the questions, how long should a research proposal be? That depends on the institution, but how detailed it should be, you've already answered that. And you talked about, Akinbody, you've answered all of this. Do you give any tips for writing a strong research or aims and objectives? You kind of touched on that.
Okay. Now, there are one thing is important in research. Your research proposal must align with university research plan. Each university have a research plan. Go to the site, understand the research plan of the university. Some of them, they have what we call vision 2030, 2040, 2050. Your research proposal must align with those vision. That is one. Number two, your proposed supervisor, you must be able to identify what's your supervisor, his area, his interest, his passion. What's he passionate about? From that, you can develop a proposal along that line. Your supervisors, they don't have the time to read so many emails. Once they read the first two paragraphs and it doesn't fit in, you're out of the picture. They'll be looking for a student that have a proposal that actually fit into what they are doing at the moment. Not if you are not even talking about grandstands. So the next thing is that those common mistakes, there are so many common mistakes.
Oh yes, right? That was the next question I can body. Yeah. The common mistakes.
Your proposal should not be too broad. Okay. Avoid the proposal being too broad, vague. The proposal should be very clear. Now, for people that write proposals for grant finders, one thing that the faculty, what they tell us is that your proposal, you are in life science, your proposal should be someone in drama or in creative art should understand the basics, the concepts of what you are trying to address. Because for people in the committee that will sit to actually scrutinize and then check whether your proposal actually fits into their plan, you might not find some people in life science. It could be someone in linguistics, someone in engineering, different faculty. They come together because they want to carry out a robust investigation into what you're trying to. So I should be able to understand what you're trying to, what concept you are bringing on board. So avoid being vague, avoid being too elaborate. You are trying to be too elaborate about just a specific, no. That simple idea, break it down, simple expression, simple sentence. Again, it's important that your lead statement matters a lot in every proposal.
You know what? You've answered. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. You just answering the next question. So how do you avoid being broad? So how do you avoid being too vague? So you said, is it simple sentences? Yeah. Or should they be concise and specific?
Be concise, be specific. Those most times your topic, you have materials to work with. Your topic for masters, it might not be novel, right? It might not be novel. Maybe you're trying to profile a solution to an idea. Okay, you want to channel that idea to in another area, okay, that can actually address that gap that you're looking at. For masters, for PhD, it is more elaborate. When we talk about this, because for PhD, they need to do a lot because at that level, they expect you to be on top of your game. So I've talked about systematic literature review. For PhD, you need to do a lot of systematic literature review before you even come up with that idea that you have. All right, so that you don't keep writing proposals and then they say, oh, and they just reply you, oh, don't you think such exists in literature? And what new thing are you bringing on board? Then you have to start all over again. But when you carry out a systematic literature review, what we call prismatic review, right? So it solves that problem. That is for PhD level. So avoid being vague, be concise, be direct, systematic, okay, literature, we have said that. Now, When you have the idea, then you begin to develop the idea into the big proposal. Now, of course, the idea is that little thing that you have. Begin to develop it. And how do you develop it? Please avoid AI.
Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for you to say that.
Please
Universities don't
avoid
like it. Universities don't
AI
like it.
in your reportage. Avoid AI because it's a crime in the academic world. It's a crime in the academic world. So if you are the type that reads a lot of literature, you read a lot of literature around that topic, you don't need AI to develop your proposal, right? We're in the
Needed.
digital age, we use digital tools, but AI, it will be flagged. And once it's flagged, you can, you should have it at the back of your mind that your supervisor will be looking at you with one eye, right? If you come up with another proposal, they will need to scrutinize it and subject it to Grammarly to turn it in, coming up with the report. They just give you, oh, this is 30%. No, you don't need that. Come up with originality, please. It's key. Originality. Your original concept, your original idea, right? Then you begin to develop that into the proposal. Before you know it, it's not about how the length. For masters, 1,000 and 1,500. For PhD, around 3,000. Most time, it's not about you wanted to meet up with the word count. That's not what matters.
The quality
What
of the writing.
matters is the quality of your writing, that it can pass through the proverbial ear of the needle, right? It can be scrutinized, passing through the eyes of the lens, and then you will not be found worthy with a lot of flags and all that. So once your originality is in place, and then it gives you a sense of confidence, because at that level, you are meant to defend your proposal. You are meant to defend
Later
it
on,
by
the end.
you have panelists that will question you. They want to know, was it your original idea, or it was like you borrowed it from somewhere, or you just come up with it, you just imagine it. No, you should be able to defend your proposal, and you should be glad and excited about it if it's your original idea, rather than a concoction, okay, a concoction of those ideas from AI just
Other
bring it.
places. Yeah. Yeah.
That would
You
not be
know
too
what?
good.
Do you know what, Akinbod? I think you've answered the next question before I even asked. So how do you make the proposal stand out? Originality,
It's key.
isn't it? Just keep
Very
it novel and original and something which
yeah,
someone hasn't done. It has to be original with a capital O.
original.
And
Oh
you've
yeah,
said that, haven't you?
emphasis here, emphasis on that.
The emphasis is on originality. Okay,
Originality.
right. So, before we let you go, because it's already 23 minutes. So if someone's writing it for the first, I haven't written a research proposal. What advice would you give me? Someone who's never written in their life, top advice would you give me? Or anybody
Well,
watching?
the advice is that you need to come out of that comfort zone that you find yourself.
Okay.
And how do
Good
you do
point.
that?
Yeah.
Please, when we were growing up, you know, we always have a diary, all right? These days, your Google Space is your diary, right?
Yeah.
But then we have a diary, we have a short note, right? A pocket note. We call it a pocket short note or pocket book. Now,
Okay.
in your closet, in your private, where you don't have a disturbance, people, from the hustling and bustling of the
Of
of the
life.
society of life, in your closet, sit down, think, right? what is the line of research? What is the line of research that you're looking at? What is the line of research that you're looking at? All right. Okay. Presently, what in your field, what is the end thing that scientists are trying to address? You don't need a crystal ball to identify this. What you need your pen and paper, you need your phone, you need your laptop or your phone, whatever. Okay. This is the 21st century, this is the 21st century. Okay, let's take for instance, beyond COVID-19, post-COVID-19 era in the educational sector, what the nation is grasping with now is the attainment gap, right? Because of children from disadvantaged backgrounds, they are trying to meet up with the academics and emotional well-being, right? So that is what, and that's what gave birth to Train to Teach. England wants to bridge that gap post-COVID-19 era. So it's maintaining education. In the health sector, we talk about the well-being, right? We talk about well-being. We talk about safeguarding issue. Safeguarding is always an issue. It's always an issue anywhere you find it. It's always an issue. So now, once you have that idea, please put it down into that sketch.
Pocketbook.
Remember, I didn't say a topic. I did not say topic now, right? Just put it down. But once you put it down, now go to your search box, blah, 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 blah. Just type it in your search box, right? And then once you type into that search box, let's say, for instance, educational inequality, okay, education disparagement or something like that. Just put it in the 21st century in England within the last 5 years or in the next 10 years, okay? Once put it in the search box. Now, from your search box, you go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar has a lot to offer you, and you're going to see thousands. Now, if you want it to be streamlined, you can filter it maybe in terms of the time frame that you wanted. Maybe within the last you don't expect that.
How many years back do you go?
For PhDs, it could be close to 10 years for PhD. But for masters, maybe like a few years, maybe like 5 years, right? For PhD, it's always they want you to. Literature is key and it's systematic review, right?
It is.
But for masters, it's just 12 months program. So they just want that little idea that you have, just address it and then tell us how you want to do this and tell us how you want to achieve this. That is what they're interested in. So once you have that, from that Google Scholar, from that Google space, you'll be able to identify your topic. Once you read, now, for every journal, there's always room for expected contribution, right? Expected contribution. Apart from the expected contribution, the challenges that they encountered in the course of that research, you could leverage on those things, and that could be your own. You can develop that into your own framework. From that, you'll be able to identify your own topic, and then once you identify your topic, that is when you begin to talk about, how do I develop this topic, right? So that's that.
Brilliant. That's such a good idea. So basically, I'm just going to summarize this. So basically, what he's saying, you really need to sit down and write stuff. You need to really sit down quietly and think in your mind, what do you want to do research on? Otherwise, it'd be too vague, as he said, and that's a waste of time. And use Google Scholar, get some articles, look at what they have, see if there's any pots or gaps or problems within the article where they haven't addressed yet. So then from there, you could see whether that could be a problem or a gap of knowledge that you can fill in, and then you can make your own from there. So basically, you can find problems by reading articles, which you can get from Google Scholar. So that's
Brilliant.
one way of finding a novel idea. That's such a
But
good way. Nobody says it like that. That's so cool.
yeah,
We need to chunk size these. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I can put it.
yeah, in
It's
the
so cool.
Google search is going to give you a lot, but you need to filter it.
Yeah.
There's always a filter box that you need
Yeah.
to situate that to your own preference, your own interest.
Preference.
So once you
Yeah.
situate that, you're going to have less
Mm.
of articles or journals to work with, right? Now, from that, you can there's something we call I mean, for PhD you have to do that. Okay, you have um, a Prisma analysis is always a chart whereby you write those key points, those keywords will be there in your topic. The topic will have like maybe 3, 4, 5 keywords, those keywords, and then what are those highlights from those keywords from previous articles that you have read, from those, and then what did they deduce, right? What are the challenges? Once you pull that together, that will give you your own idea that you can develop into your topic before you begin to write. These are just they are not, they are seamless, but you need to just follow that template and pattern so that you don't just come up with an idea and someone will say, oh, and someone will just Google and then bring out
Yeah, it's not that straightforward.
a
It
published
takes
work,
time.
and then you feel like, "Ah, that means have I not done much? But I've been reading. No. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of time.
A lot of reading.
Yeah.
Okay, my goodness. Right, that's a lot from someone who hasn't done a research proposal. So is there any, I mean, I don't know if you feel, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you felt intimidated by what Akinbode said, but is there any words of encouragement you would share with the audience in case they do feel overwhelmed from this video?
Don't get
Any
it.
words of advice or encouragement?
Yeah, thank you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't experience any block whatsoever. Right? Patience is key.
Lots
You
and lots of patience.
must get out of your comfort zone. You are too comfortable in life sciences, we say you need to carve out a niche for yourself. Carve out a niche for yourself. And how do you do that? You need to come out of your comfort zone.
100%.
Think critically. That little idea, there's always an idea. And believe me, no idea should be thrown to the dustbin, to the trash can, right? Just think about it and just put it down. Someone once said, if we need to hide a valuable from an African perspective, put it into books that we don't read in Africa, but I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree. So put it down, that little, just try, put it down, and then go to your database, ransack everywhere that you need to. Google Scholar is just one of them. We've got a lot of that, but Google Scholar is up there,
So many
right?
platforms. Yeah.
So once you do that, then it becomes seamless. You'll be able to identify that little problem. Don't think about the bigger problem. Don't think about the bigger problem, right? There will be challenges. You are not God that want to solve all the problems, right?
Just
You are not
one and just
you are not
super
infallible. You are not
focused.
infallible. You are not infallible. You're not infallible, and our comprehension has a limit, right? But think of that single problem, not too big, and identify those steps that you want that you can achieve that problem. Those steps, you have the idea now. Identify those steps that you need to take. Your proposal must answer the question: what, when, and why. What,
And
how, and
how?
why.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
how, yes.
what, how, and why. Your proposal must answer these questions. So
Brilliant.
if you don't answer that, then no.
You're sorted. You're sorted. My goodness, that was such a valuable set of answers that you've given from the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will timestamp this video relating to each question. So if there's a particular question that you missed or you want to go back and watch it again, you can do. Akinbode, thank you so much for coming today. Basically, we know each other because we're both teachers, but the point is that this is his thing. It's his game. He has a PhD, so he is used to doing this, and he's already guiding students as we speak. So if you'd like more information, how can we find you, Akinbode? I can
Well,
refer you to students to you,
of
but
course.
how can people find you?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. That's welcome by
Oh,
me.
okay. Okay, no problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like more guidance with regards to your research proposal, obviously you need to write it first according to the university's guidelines, and then he'd be more than happy to guide you and proofread through your research proposal. As you can see, Akinbode is very experienced and very knowledgeable in this field, so I'd highly recommend to get in touch with him if you need that help. Thank you so much, my friend. I wish you the very best. The holiday's coming up, so a bit of family time. And
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. So thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Appreciate. Yeah,
No
bye-bye.
problem. Oh, so that is Akinbode. As you can see, my goodness, my mind is blown. Do you know what? If I had a coach like Akinbode, I think, I'd be sorted because he's so patient, very knowledgeable, and he'll go through it step by step. I don't know if you've noticed, he's very passionate about what he's talking about. So, if you need that help, like I said, I know him because of education. So if you'd like more information with regards to how to write up a research proposal, just DM us or write in the comments. More than happy. Akinbode is happy for me to share his details with you. Not a problem. Right, what's this got to do with us? As you can see, we have a QR code here. I can't speak today. Right, so basically we do have a PhD intake for De Montfort University for April. So I am asking if you need that admission, you need to start before Christmas, and we're happy to help you and assist you. You do need a research proposal, so we will be here to guide you. We've got Akinbode to guide you as well. Right, I think that's enough for today. Until next time, my friends, look after yourself. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.